What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into this, please make sure you subscribe. If you're new here, my name is Izzy and I'm a journalist, and I make videos here on YouTube where I visit different animal shelters. I speak to them about the work they do, but also raising awareness on different topics and issues, and speaking about the challenges that they face day to day. I also speak to different charities and organisations about how they help animals change people's lives. This can be from hearing dogs to guide dogs to animal assisted therapy. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy this, and let's find out where we are off to today. So today I've come to Lancashire to Woodlands Animal Sanctuary. Now they rescue a mixture of cats but also farm animals, and I've got little Olaf here with me, and I'm going to find out a little bit more about his story but also the work they do. So let's go in and find out a little bit more. So tell me all about where Woodlands Animal Sanctuary all started.
So it was founded back in 2005, so we celebrated our 20th birthday this year, and it began as it was originally a branch of Cats Protection. Jackie, who founded the sanctuary itself, wanted to branch out and help more animals in a local area, so we started off with a very, very, very small amount of farm animals as well, because we've got like a nice bit of land on the property, and we've just grown and grown and grown ever since in the last 20 years. So the cattery we're in at the minute was built in 2020 in between lockdowns, after we'd received money from Pets at Home to build a whole new shelter. We'd gone to them originally for money to fix up our old cattery because it was a bit sad and worn. It stood for something like 30 years and it used to flood if it rained, and there were bits of the floor where the foundations had started to give way a little bit and sink a little bit. So we'd wanted money to fix all that up, and were granted enough to build what was our 10-year plan in a very, very short 2 years. So we'd managed to get our new cattery built, which is absolutely brilliant. Pens are nice and big and airy and bright for the cats and everything else. So we have grown a lot since those very, very early days. The farm side of things has gotten bigger with all our resident farm animals as well. So yeah, we're huge now.
And what is the main ethos here and what you stand for?
So our tagline that goes along with everything we do is that rescuing an animal is not going to change the world, but it will change that animal's world. And there's so many issues these days with unneutered cats and unwanted litters of kittens being born, that the cat population's gone ridiculous, and if we can make a small difference in rescuing and rehabilitating and finding loving homes for part of that population, then we're doing worthwhile work. Without places like us, I dread to think what the outcome for these animals would have been, particularly farm side. They're big animals to care for. They're a big commitment. They take a lot of hard work, and if we weren't there to take them in, where would they end up? Same with your cats. Well, a lot of people think cats are very, very independent and they'll live fine on their own if they're left to their own devices, but in reality, that you do get cats that wouldn't do well outside as ferals and catching their own tea and that sort of stuff. So I do dread to think where all these guys would be if we didn't have places like us.
So you touched on a couple there, but what are the main topics and issues you feel like people need to be more aware of when it comes to cats in particular?
Cats in particular, getting them neutered and spayed is the big one that we're seeing more and more problems with these days. And it became a bigger problem than it was during COVID, when vets weren't doing those routine procedures. And it seems to have just grown past that since then. So we always used to have a kitten season through the year that used to start sort of mid-April time and used to finish when you got to sort of the end of September, start of October. And nowadays you can have kittens born right the way through the year. There's no break in kitten season anymore. It's just an ongoing issue, and that has stemmed directly from people not getting their cats neutered or spayed. It means that as a rescue, you know, for every pregnant cat that comes into us, each cat and her litter from coming in to all being rehomed cost us an average of £1,600 for that one family, which coupled with the cost of living crisis as well, it's a lot of money that we've got to find to be able to take care of these cats. And it is a big, not neutering and spaying is a big issue these days.
And what about farm animals? What do people need to be aware of when it comes to them?
I think there's a lot of problems that people get in farm animals. If they've got a bit of land and they go out and they'll buy themselves farm animals to keep the grass down, or as companion animals and things like that, I think a lot of people don't realise the cost of them, the time that they need to be looked after, the commitment for them. You know, that they are, it's not as easy as leaving them out in a field and letting them fend for themselves. There's a lot that goes into caring for your farm animals, and we've put all of our staff through training for proper horse care, goat care, all that kind of thing for the ones we've got here. But there is a lot of taking them on without realising the commitment that comes with them.
And finally, what are your hopes for the future here at the shelter?
So we're really, really big on education, as well as all the animal care things we do. Education and well-being for the people that come along as well as the animals. So we've got a good team of volunteers that come and do our general cleaning. They come and cat cuddle of an afternoon. They'll be involved with our charity shop, and a lot of those people would otherwise sort of be sat at home on their own, and it can be quite lonely for people. So we're well aware that as well as helping animals, we're also helping people in our local community, which is just as rewarding as rescuing all the animals that we have. I think as a sanctuary as a whole, we'd just like to keep growing at the rate that we are, and being able to help more animals in our local area and those people that come along with it as well.
So who have we got here then?
So this is Olaf. He has just turned 1 a couple of months ago. He came with his mum, Anna, who's the other side of the field at the moment, and his twin sister, Elsa. He was only 4 weeks old when he came to us. He was a tiny, cute little baby. And he's now gotten a little bit too big and a little bit too fat for me to lift and cuddle. He's very heavy these days. He's really, really sociable. When he first came, he was absolutely petrified of people. He hadn't really been handled much at all. So you'd go in the stable with them and they'd be climbing the walls to try and get away from you. They were really, really timid little animals. And as you can see now, not a bit fussed about cuddles and people and strangers and all that sort of stuff. Him and his sister do come out and do quite a lot of our fundraising activities with us. So they'll come and do educational visits at schools for the kids. They'll come and do care home visits for elderly residents that need their day brightening up a little bit. They cause chaos wherever they go. They are very, very cheeky but well loved animals. So they came to us from a lady who had far too many goats for the land that she had them on, but had, with all good intentions, had taken a few goats in as rescues, and unfortunately the number just got unmanageable for her. So she was desperate for a little bit of help, and we had the spare space for them. We had a spare stable, and we did actually help her rehome most of her herd to different rescues up and down the country, which was nice. We left her with her two old billy goats, which were the first ones she took in. So we helped her, and these guys got a new little life of Riley.